This
When I was telling
conference
that,
will now be recorded.
so it is not the question that okay, how much you practice and all this. By the practice and the thing, you should get the confidence within you that and in understanding SAP. That is very much important. So practicing, if I give these notes and if I give the video, even the college students also passes, yes. But the question, how much you understand the way logic. So whatever you are practicing, these things will help you to in understanding SAP. Say for example, just Nagalakshmi say ask me one question: what is business area? So business area, adding business area is we have many steps. Like okay, we can tell like oh, you have to create business area, how to create this one. But most of the things we should understand the logic behind it. Then when you understand that logic, slowly it may not be very clear in the beginning stage. Don't worry about it. By practicing and by getting some clarity day by day practicing, you will get that clarity in your mind, confidence level. Tell me one thing. After creating these three steps, don't you feel little bit confidence in the basic steps organization structure that what you were not feeling at the beginning stage when you are practicing one time? Now after passing, like when you're getting third time, you don't need to look into any score. That means you get some idea. Okay, after this, I should do. So that's the confidence level you keep building every day. That's what is required. Okay. So try to understand, try to do some R&D, and try to just try to understand what you are doing. And may not be very clear at the beginning or else first time, but you will definitely will get that clarity in future classes. And today we are going to see this fixed assets. We know that assets and other things we maintain in companies, and maintaining asset is one of the challenging job in companies. But how asset works? What is that assets? We should understand. Just like the logic behind what we learnt in this customer as well as in vendor. What's the logic behind vendors and customer? What we understood extra than GLs. So we understood that. So we maintain a separate accounts. We maintain a separate accounts for vendors. That vendors are going to be connected to one credit RCL because we cannot show all the totals of all the vendors in balance sheet. So that we maintain account, a ledger for a vendor, but that ledger is connected to one general ledger. That general ledger we call it as reconciliation GL. What's the purpose behind it? It's very clear. So we cannot show all the vendors, individual vendors account in balance sheet liability side. Just I was talking about the balance sheet and all right before, like this. I cannot say one vendor to here, so that I connect all the vendors to one GL, so that the GL shows the total. So whenever I want a separate account or separate the breakup of these vendors, I can come to these ledgers and I can see how much each vendor has, and total is it shows here the GL account, which carries all the totals. What it does, now for individual vendors, we maintain individual ledgers and it's connected to one general ledger. The same concept which applied for customers also. When it comes to assets also, we use the same concept here. We use the same concept here. That means we are going to maintain, I modified this, we are going to maintain separate assets, A1, A2, A3, a separate ledger for each asset. And that assets are going to be connected to asset GL. The totals it will show here. Asset GL. So it's a balance sheet GL which totals individual vendors due. It's a balance GL, it totals individual assets. So because if you have assets, some companies will generally will be having like 5,000, 10,000 assets. 1 lakh assets also we have seen in our experience. So I cannot create 1 lakh GL for individual assets to show that assets in the right side of in the asset side. It's not practically not possible, right? If I say, okay, vehicle 1, vehicle 2, vehicle 3, building 1, building 1, building 3, plant 1, plant 2, plant, I cannot show everything. So I can merge all the totals just like vendors and customers. And I can connect to one balance sheet GL. And this GL we call, in SAP we call, in SAP Asset Recon GL, we call it. Asset Recon GL, Reconciliation GL for assets. Also called, this assets also called subledgers. When I'm talking about when I'm talking ledgers, when I'm talking general ledgers, ledgers has a different idea. That means different meaning. General ledger have a different meaning. Always have that clarity in your mind. So this is the logic. Just what is that? So whenever I want to do the asset accounting, first I require, if I want to purchase any asset or something, I must record assets. To create assets, I should go to again the same logic. Asset configuration, master data. We should create asset accounts, then entries. One sec. So here, asset entries. What is asset entries? We purchase asset, we sell asset, we do the depreciation, we scrap it. Lot of entries will come in asset. So we have to do all these things. So let us start with one by one. I hope logic is clear to everyone. Any questions with the logic? Is this clear? And that means we are doing asset. We are learning now how to do the asset accounting in here. Asset accounting means transactions, asset related transactions. To do the asset and asset transactions, we should have asset accounts. Asset accounts or asset ledgers are created as just like in vendors and customers GL. Separate accounts will be created and it will be connected to one asset GL. That asset GL we call it as asset reconciliation GL or this recon GL. Asset GL is called asset reconciliation GL or and the asset accounts are also called subledgers. So now if you want to create, so let us start with configuration. We have to do some configuration, then we should create assets and we. So let us first decide what assets we are going to create. So let us maintain assets. I'm going to create buildings. So building is a group. See, in assets, now like vendor. So what we have done, we have created a group, right? Vendor group. So that we created only one vendor group, but there can be multiple vendors as well. What is that multiple vendors? Just assume. So we have foreign vendors, we have domestic vendors, local vendors, statutory vendors like that. And we can create customers also, foreign vendors, corporate, foreign customers, for corporate customers, local customers, like that also, dealers, like that also we can create different customer group. So in assets also we have to maintain separate groups, but it's a different configuration which we do. So groups like you can see asset groups. It can be like this, like plant and machinery, buildings, land and buildings, or vehicles, furnitures and fixtures, Like this, we can have multiple group under that assets. Why? So we require separate values for it, right? That means when you're showing in assets or in balance sheet, we cannot show okay total assets. We have to show how much is a P&L account, how much is the building, and so group, for each group, separate account GL account, separate reconciliation GL, specific recon GL maintained in SAP. That means for plant and machinery, I can maintain one GL, buildings one, like, because that will show. So like a vendor, in vendor, what we have done, we created one creditors GL. It can be multiple creditors GL. For a vendor, one vendor I can assign one, like some vendors I can assign creditors GL one, and other vendors I can create some multi other creditors GL, and I can assign according to the group that will show the totals. Here, generally we maintain multiple recon account depending on the group of asset. And I'm going to take up an example. This building, I'm going to show you how we can maintain. One example, I'll take it. First thing is I should create an GL for this. A reconciliation GL should be created. So which one is a GL account? Go to GL groups. Here we have fixed assets. We have fixed assets like this here, this one. So first GL I'm going to create. Go to FS double zero. Switch the company code. That is B-21 company. So I go to new and company code is B-21. As usual, it's a balance sheet GL and it comes under fixed assets. So I'm going to create this GL as buildings, asset buildings. And in control data, as usual, sort key. Important is, as I mentioned, it is maintained as sub ledgers. Individual ledgers are maintained for each asset, and this GL take up the total here. So here I'm going to select that assets. First we selected vendors and customers. Now we are creating this as an asset. So whenever we select as a reconciliation, that means it's connected to sub ledgers. It takes the values from sub ledgers automatically. And these reconciliation accounts we cannot post directly. We cannot post anything directly. We cannot use it like okay posting debit and credit. It has to come through sub ledgers only. As I selected recon account here, then I should select G067 refill status group, which we use for vendors and customers as well as now for assets. Save it. Now the GL is ready. Is it clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Any questions if you get, any doubts if you get, please unmute and ask there only. Don't wait for the video to watch again or let me check it out in Google. Don't try that one right now, first time. Okay? Please ask there itself, always. And one more is, we have to create one more GL here. That is what we call it as a technical clearing account. Technical clearing GL. So the use of technical clearing account, I'll tell you when I do the transactions. Right now, I don't want to explain anything. It should be just as like reconciliation asset, recon GL. The group GL group should be from clearing. Okay, that means we have one clearing group here. I said in the beginning, you will come to know the usage in the later stage. Ninth, the clearing accounts. You have to create in this series, okay? I tell you this usage and what is the purpose. Just now, you have to create this technical clearing account from this. The real-time activity which I'm showing, the same thing which you are going to do in the real time also. I'm going to create this GL just like an asset recon GL. The usage you are going to understand later stage. Just create, go to creation here. 1 second, please, don't mind.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, hello. Yes, okay. GL account we have to create just 9,000. Enter the series first one, and just as usual, it's balance sheet account, but the clearing account is the series, and you just mention it as technical clearing GL. Okay, you understand what is the use of this later stage. And go to control data, just as usual you enter, and here it should be asset only, and go to create bank interest G067, just as usual, same thing, only the series clearing account should come and save it. It's created here. So two GLs we created. There's a master data which is required for initial transactions. After creating this, let us start configuration. Let us start doing configuration. So in configurations, there are many steps to be done here. Okay. So first step, one is chart of depreciation. I'm going to provide the notes soon. Okay, chart of depreciation. So chart of depreciation, it's just like a chart of accounts. We can create chart of accounts and we can maintain under the depreciation. One is chart of depreciation we should do, and then assign non-taxable non-taxable codes to company code. Second step. Then third step, assign asset sorry chart of depreciation. Short code is COD to company code. This is the first three steps which you should do. The second step is creating asset class. So under asset class we have account determination. So then we have spring layout rule. Third step, asset class. Sorry, number ranges for assets. Fourth step, create asset class. After doing this, we should assign GL accounts for asset purchase. First transaction, asset purchase. Then we see different one. Okay, asset purchases, and also assign technical clearing account. So once this is done, finally we have last step, activate asset, sorry, depreciation area in asset class. So once this configuration, there is one more final step is there, that we call it LDT, legacy data transfer date. So this, what is this and why we do this, you'll understand when we go to the step. Don't worry about it. This is the last step. After doing this, we can create assets, that is master data. This and all whatever I said, these are the asset configurations which we should do. asset configuration. Okay. So what we are going to do? So let me explain one by one. Chart of depreciation. So let me explain first to let me do these three steps. Then I will take up next four steps. Then I will take up other four steps. Okay. So first here, what is this chart of depreciation? Chart of depreciation, SAP provided standard chart of depreciation for India. Like whatever the methods we use it, whatever the ways which is required, whatever the types of depreciation we require for assets, all these things are already predefined. What we should do, we have to copy and we have to make adjustment as per our requirement. So what is this chart of depreciation? Under this, we are going to maintain all the assets. That's it. Chart of accounts, we maintain under that. We maintain all the GL accounts, right? So similarly, chart of accounts, chart of depreciation, we maintain all the assets under this. So non-taxable codes means there are some transactions which are related to non-taxable in assets. So we are going to tell the system so that a non-taxable asset should be allowed. The asset transaction should be allowed. That's the second step. After doing this, we should assign this chart of depreciation. We should tell the system we are going to use this chart of depreciation for our company code. We are going to use this chart of depreciation for our company code. Okay, got it? For all these transactions, there are different chart of this one T codes are there for each, but we can do all this all these transactions in one T code, that is ORFA. That's it. Asset accounting. In one T code, we can do all this. Whatever we are seeing the below, all the configurations we can do it here. In ORFA, one T code is enough. So theoretically, is it clear? Shall I go?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Others.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I go to ORFA. See, what is the difference between ORFA and normal configuration? I show you that. So why I use one T code for asset? So normally, if you come here, we have the asset configuration. For all configurations, we go to SPRO. Under that, we can go to normal configurations view. Here, under financial accounting, we have asset accounting. Under that, we have this organization structure, whatever the steps which I said, all these are here under asset accounting. So I can come like this, or else I can enter that ORFA. See, only asset related activity, that asset accounting. Just match it. Asset accounting, migration, everything. Only this part, whatever you are seeing, that will come here with the ORFA. That's a shortcut. That's it. Okay. That's the reason I'm going to use ORFA for transactions. So let me go for our chart of depreciation. Go to organization structure, and here we have this copy reference chart of depreciation areas. What does it mean? System, there is no creation option. You don't have creation option. That means you don't need to create. You have to go execute here. And there are three steps to be done. One is copy reference chart of depreciation. That means we have to copy. Where you have to copy? You have to copy. Just double click on that. And there is no creation button you see here. You have to copy. This is the copy button. And there is already predefined copy from. I'm going to give this notes. Okay, don't worry. 0IN. Enter 0IN. And your chart of depreciation, it's going to be like a new chart of depreciation you're going to create with this copy. So you can give that your company code only, because we are going to create only one, just like a chart of accounts, and enter. And system already exists BI-21 chart of. So do you remember we have done this step? Do you remember we
Yes,
have
sir.
done this
Initial step. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Initial step. We have
Additional configuration.
additional configuration? These three steps which you have done in additional configuration. Why? I'm going to tell you the reason. So on that day I said, okay, we are doing this step. I mentioned here very clearly. Below configurations not related to organization structure. It is not. It is doing to avoid some issues in future, especially asset accounting. I mentioned that one here. Now, when you are doing creating this below configuration, no need to think of logic behind these steps. That I didn't explain what is copy reference chart of account and assign taxable code V0 and or assign chart of account. These three steps which you already done, whichever I am telling you. Why did we? You can follow the same step whichever I already. You also, I believe, you already created the same thing when you're practicing this. So what did we do here? We have copied. That's what I said. So we are going to copy the steps here. I'm going to show you some other step. So the same step, I'm going to show all three. So I just create like from 0 IN, I'm going to create like something, okay. Uh, to show you BA21, let me try this. Simply to show you this step only. I'm not going to use this because I already assigned with BI21 in my company code. Okay, just enter and click OK and click S, and system copies automatically. Chart of depreciation 0 IN is copied to this step. What I'm doing to show you the steps again, that's it, because we have done the steps already. Once this is done, you don't need to do the second step, you can skip that, not important, but third step is important. So go to click on this, the double click on this and enter your the chart of depreciation what you copied, and you can delete whatever is unnecessary. What is the delete? When you're like in some system, when you're copying, it will copy everything. Like there will be like 1, 2, 15, 16, 17, like this, many things will be there. Other than this one, you should delete all the things. Other than this one, you should delete all, because there are multiple options and multiple things are there. Those we don't need to discuss as of now. Ignore that. So only keep this, and just if you want to delete other things, but just you have to select this in the edge and accept this, all this, select and delete that. Only you should keep this one if you have multiple. And then after that, you should assign the accounting principle whichever we created. Remember accounting principle which we created? So we created our own accounting principle, whichever the accounting principle which we assigned in the universal general step in the organization structure. That's what we have done already. That I'm telling now. If you are doing first time, like that means, however, you're going to create a new company code for this. Then you should know these steps. That's the reason. But obviously, when you're doing that itself, you might have done that. That's good. Yes. Here, what I was telling about this accounting principle. There's some technical error in the system, not a problem. But you should do this. This I already showed you. I don't want to go for it now. Just assign your accounting principle and save it. So make sure when you're assigning your accounting principle, there's a target GL, the ledger group should be 0L. Okay, that's what. So once after doing this, save it. Now I'm not going to save this because it's not required to be. Okay, done. Then the second step which you have done under integration of with general ledger account, you should go to this assign input tax indicator for non-taxable acquisitions, execute, and find your company code, which you already done. V0 and A0 we have assigned here. When you are assigning this, you get a warning. You just ignore that and save it. Ignore means enter in keyboard and save it. Finally, after doing this, you should go back to the below step, assign chart of depreciation to company code, find your company code, and so this step we already done. So that means, why did I do this? You may not understand right now, but it's very much important doing in demo system, not in real. Real time we don't do like this. In demo system, it's very much important. If you want to know why did I do this, right? Okay, you when you're creating one company code next time, obviously you have to create new company code for asset. Okay, when you're creating this, then try to don't do that step here after organization structure, chart of accounts. Just create chart of account and then create GL accounts and post entries and check it out. Then you come for, yeah, you finish AP because you required AP for purchases. Then you come and try to create directly this chart of account after posting transactions, and then come back with your queries. One company code you do like this. If it is not working properly, then you will create normally whatever the steps which I said. Are you getting my point? What I'm telling? You do the normal steps and do it. If you want to test, okay, why did we do this? Why can't we do the asset accounting, these three steps in the demo system? Why can't we do after accounts payable, accounts receivables? Why can't we do after that? Because it's asset related what we are learning today, right? So why should we do earlier these three steps? If you want to know the reason, if you do one company code as usual, you do it and finish off. Another company code you create, but skip this entry, this step, and do the normal complete AP AR and all. Like AR is also required, AP is also required for asset, GL is also required for asset. You have to do other things. Means you don't need to do 10 entries. You have to set up that process, and you have to purchase the asset and sell the asset. Okay, so on the time, one company you do like one company skip and do it. You'll come to know the reason. I tell you on the time. Everybody should do that. Got it? Everybody should do that. Two company codes you have to create for assets. One company code, normal procedure, create asset like these three steps when you're doing organization structure. After doing this, then come back and do the same steps what I'm doing, AP, AR, GL, everything you configure. Pass one entry for testing purpose and come back. And finally do these transactions, whatever I'm doing now. But when you're doing one other company code, skip that entry and do GL, AR and all. Finally, you come and do this transaction and you have to show that error, everybody. Okay, got it? Got the clarity?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You should not say I didn't understand. I want to show you both the company codes. Hmm? If you are not understand that homework, you have to tell me now. I'll explain it again. Have you got Arshita, Gayu, and Deepa?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Arshita, Gayu.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we have completed these three steps earlier. We don't need to do this, but I showed you how to do that. So let us go to the asset classes. What is this asset class? Asset class is just a simple. It's a group of assets, grouping of assets. Means we know, right? So as I mentioned already, so we may maintain a different assets. We can categorize different assets to show the different values from the accounting perspective, balance sheet perspective. We have to show that. It's a law. We have to show plant and machinery assets in a formatted way, informed way. So to create group asset the grouping of assets, that means asset class we call it in SAP. We require these three things. One is account determination, screen layout rule, and as number ranges for assets. Just what is this account determination? It helps in posting transactions automatically by system. That is asset related, asset transactions. So we do we purchase assets. Yes. we do the purchase assets. These account determinations will help us to purchase asset, sale of asset, gain from loss from asset, like this. All the GL accounts automatically determine. Here afterwards, you are going to learn. It's very much important statement. Remember, here afterwards, you are going to learn something important from SAP perspective, because SAP is really good because of this reason. It has a concept of account determination. That means system, most of the time system automatically posts the transactions. It finds the GL account and it finds the account and it will post the transactions. So that you are going to understand with this asset. By end of this asset configure, that means asset accounting, you are going to understand all those things. And strain layout rule. So right now let us do not discuss this. It's in master data. Asset master, specifically asset master. Asset master means asset account, individual assets. Asset master field control program. This I'm going to show you later. Just to have this idea. So number ranges for asset means for individual assets, account creation, or else for assets account, or ledgers, whatever you call asset account. For asset account, number ranges. That means we have seen the number ranges for vendors and customer. What we have seen, so we have created a number range, or else we assigned the number ranges. We selected and assigned, and after that, system start generating the numbers for each vendors and customers. Similarly, here also we can create our own number ranges. It is not required, like not like vendors and customers. It's not a single place. We can create our own number ranges, whatever is required for each assets. It's in free. It has a freedom. It does not have a dependency for multiple company codes. It's single. It's individual. That's a private for our asset group. And after doing these three things, we are going to create asset class. Asset means a group of asset, one group, asset group. That asset group, we are going to take example is building. We are going to create a building group. Okay. So let us do this activity. So just for asset class, under organization structure, we have asset class here. Go down, account determination, screen level tool, and number range for assets. So all three are there. Specify account determination, screen level tool, and define number ranges. After that, we should create asset class, the fourth step. So first click on this asset. So there is the grouping group codes are there. That's coding. Coding means we have, for this is 8 digits. We can use 8 digits for 8 digits maximum. Okay. 8 digits to create as an account determining 8 digits allowed. For screen level rule, 8 digits allowed. For numbering is not a coding. Here it is 8 digits allowed. That means we can create 8 digits code for each, and generally what we do in real time also, we maintain the same code. That means do not create 8 digits because it has maximum 4 digit. Then you can also create 4 digit code only. That code what we are going to create, say for example, our company code is BI-21, right? We can create, like generally we create Z001, Y001 like that, or else I can create like this. My company code is B, and we can create like Z100, the Z100, the Z100. So we can give any code. That's our choice. There is no restriction that okay, you should give like this. But generally we create like Z001, Z002, Z002. So for example, for building Z001, for plant and machinery Z002, for furnitures Z002. The grouping of GL account group we have made, right? Just like 4 digit code. Don't use 8 digit code. Why? Because 8 digit code if you maintain here, but 4 digits is maximum. So that means you can use 4 year, 4 year, 4 year. It's like one group of asset as one type of account determination asset, this screen level rule. Let me go and create account determination. It's very simple step. Under asset classes, just go and execute this and go to new entries. And so Z100 account determination for building for you mention your company code, better easy because you can remember, or else you don't need account determination for building. Already somebody has used this. Okay, so that means if somebody has already used, I cannot use this code, because it's a demo system, right? Let me tell like Y100. Let me try this. Nobody used. So this is the series. It's your choice. You can use anything. So here it's very simple step. You don't need to do anything. Just enter the account determination and the name and save it. That's it. The second step, we have to create screen level true. Just below the asset account, in the account determination, we have the screen level true. Execute and position. Here you have no option to create because SAP provided all the things. We have to copy. Generally, this 1000, 1100, 2000, 2100, 2000, 3000, 3100, 200, sorry, 100. These are the standard which is provided, but other things are copied and created by others. What you can do, you can create you can select a relative screen level. For example, here we have this land and buildings 2100. You can select this 2100. For example, if you are creating plant and machinery, then you can go for 2000. Copy that. If you are creating something, this one like furnitures, you can select 3000. Here we have double hundred for buildings only. I can copy this buildings. Just click select this and copy and change your my field set is B Y100 buildings. You can mention screen layout for screen layout rule for buildings. Somebody could use this already. Y100 they used. Let me use Y1. As it's used, I'm going to change here. Okay, don't worry if I'm not changing. If you don't need to change, or else you can change if it is not. Because in real time, don't worry, you don't, because our system is in our control only. As somebody is already used, I'm going to use a different one. That's it for practice purpose. Y101 I used. The final step. Wow, wow, wow. What is this? I'm getting this technical error. It's not created. Let me copy from 1100 Y101 and let me save this. Yeah, it is done. It is saved. So next, the final step is number ranges. Number ranges, as mentioned, when you are creating assets, so you require to create, it has to generate a number for each asset, account number. So we can give the which account number, which account series we require. So as we maintain some accounts numbers for different one, I'm going to, so you can enter your company code, that is B-21, and create intervals. Just like other, like we have display and intervals. As it's a company code specific, it is our creating for our company code assets accounting. So then we don't have anything already. You can go here and give the two digit code. Like let me give 70, and I'm going to use 7 series. 7 lakh to 7 lakh 9999, or else 5 digits, 70,000 to 70,999. You can create any number range, whatever you want, up to 10 digits. But give simple number range, don't give bigger one. 7070. It's like if you're creating, like for example, plant and machinery again, then you can create, okay, so 8 series or something like that you can create. Or else let me limit it to 7099. That means 100 GL series we can give. In real time, generally we give full series, like 8 digits, 10 digits we give it. Save this. So we have completed these 3 steps. One is account determination we created, and screen level tool and number ranges. After doing this, we have to create asset group, that is Y100 asset group. So this asset group, which I can use these 3 ingredients, whatever we created, to create asset group. That is asset class. That below, just below that, after doing these 3, we have this asset class. Just execute this and go to new entries and enter Y100 asset class for buildings Y100. See here, there are 3 mandatory things. One is account determination, screen level tool, another one is number range. These 3 are mandatory. You can see the tick mark. To create asset class, account determination is Y100 and screen level tool is Y101 and number range 70, the 2-digit code. Okay, got you getting my point? So we are creating this. So that means this is the group which is below, like these 3 things are required, and save it. Got it? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay then. So next is actually this assign GL account for purchases. This one. This I'm going to take it tomorrow. Let us do not burden everything today because I'm going to take it simple class today. Okay. So next class I will take this because continuation, so that I can purchase assets, I can do the other things in the one class tomorrow itself. At least we require 2 hours for this. That's what in the contents also I mentioned. Asset accounting, actually I mentioned 4 hours. That is 2 hours, 4 classes. Tomorrow we can complete this. Okay, so I'm going to take this tomorrow with fresh mind and revision of this, and you can practice if you have time, you can practice by tomorrow till here. But you have to create a separate account, a separate company code for asset. Just you created just GL APA, right? You have to create a separate account name and 2 company codes you have to create. Remember, one is for without doing the say this 3 configuration first, and with doing the say 3 configuration first. You have to show the difference. Okay, so till here you complete. After that, and if you get an error, if without doing this activity in the beginning, remember one company code which I'm telling here, you have to do this activity regularly and do the things till now whatever we have done here. Till here you have to complete. Tomorrow we can continue this. But if you are one another company code, you should skip that step whichever I said, and you have to do it here. And if you can complete till here, it's good. But if you get any error here, don't send me in when you're creating without doing that activity. If you get an error in this second company code without doing that configuration there and doing here after AR, then you don't need to send that error to me. Remember, I will just you have to show that error here. Yeah, like I'm going to see that error, what error you are getting, so that I can explain what is the issue, why do you do it there. Okay, got my point? Is it clear? So is it clear? If you get any doubts or clarification, you can call me. Yesterday night, Arshita called me in the midnight, almost it's 11:45. Not an issue. I was happy for it. Okay, so not an issue. If you get any error or something, please call me back. And I'm going to upload this video as soon as possible, and I share this Excel as well. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.